Hello guys, welcome back, welcome to Monza. How are you all doing? This is my first iRacing video, and it's not going to be any iRacing streams for a while. I had an absolute nightmare in my last iRacing stream, and to be honest, I thought, nah, I'm not going to do it myself anymore. I'm just going to record some videos of iRacing, and then obviously get back into live streaming. The truth is, I'm struggling a little bit. I really am struggling with life in general at the moment. So I'm gonna stream maybe once, maybe twice a week, but absolutely get back into making videos and just seeing how everything goes. But we're at Monza again. Tuesday night, opened my eyes a little bit. Was totally unprepared. An absolute nightmare. So I'm not gonna put myself through it anymore because it just depresses the hell out of me. So I'm back into making videos, and yeah, I think that's the way I'm gonna go forward for a while. But we're in qualifying, and it is going really well for me at the moment. We had a much better video, a much better race this time around than we did when I was live. Just, yeah, it was an absolute nightmare. Monza really opened my eyes. In the F1 game, I'm absolutely really good at Monza. In this game, unfortunately, there's a lot to learn, and unfortunately, I didn't learn, and I went out and had an absolute nightmare. But we're around the Parabolica, and we're about to start our second flying lap. It's a really good time, actually, at the moment. It's looking pretty good. We come across the line with a 34.8 for the first time around. Obviously, in iRacing, you get 2 flying laps, or you get an out lap, 2 flying laps, and then that's it. That's it, that's job done. But we took turn 1, turn 2, really, really nice. And then, yeah, we're just flying. Obviously, iRacing is a far superior sim compared to F1. And you think you can transfer the skills over? Yes, you kind of can, but you need a lot more finesse in iRacing than you do in F1, and unfortunately, it really proved to me on Tuesday during the live stream. So yeah, going forward, I'm definitely only going to be making some videos and recording them. I'm thinking about just not streaming for a while anyway, just for various different reasons. But I think I might just do mine and Sam's career mode as live streams, and then just continue making some videos and just mixing up, swapping out between live streams and videos. Anyway, that's enough about me. We are almost done with qualifying. We're down a little bit on our delta, but we are still green on our lap time. As you can see across the line, it's going to be a 34.3, but a 34.3 is only going to be enough for P6. And that was that. That was qualifying. So as you can see, we're about to go green, starting P6, and this was definitely a tale of two halves. The race started off really well indeed, and it was awesome for well, until the pit stop. You'll see, stick around, you'll find out. But as you can see, we've gone green, and we're heading to turn 1, and you can already tell the difference between the live stream race and this actual race. Didn't kill anybody from the start. Yeah, it was carnage behind, but we managed to get through turn 1, turn 2 unscathed, unlike we did the other night, and we are into it. We're done. We're away, and basically now we're just making sure that we can absolutely check out. And yeah, everything was just good. Everything felt really good. Felt like a big pressure had been lifted off my shoulders. Trying to concentrate and stream at the same time, I think, really did me in. But we're looking good. These GTP cars are something else. If you don't respect the GTP, you really can come a cropper. And that's the thing, you need 100% concentration, sometimes 110% concentration, because You really need to make moves to progress, otherwise you kind of stagnate. And looking back, probably should have stuck my nose in a little bit and tried to get past. But it's lap 1, and nobody can win a race on lap 1, turn 1, even though it wasn't turn 1, I think it was turn 11. But yeah, it is what it is. But lap 1's almost complete, and you can see we made up a position off the start. And as the race progresses, we made some really good progress. But that damn pit stop, man. That damn pit stop. And I don't know why. Don't know what happened. Didn't see into turn 1 trying to make a move. And we almost get a move done, but I was a little bit hesitant. Gave probably too much space to the car on my left-hand side, and should have just made that move stick. I don't know why I'm looking to the left there. Just out of habit, I suppose. But as this race then progressed, it was mad. It was pretty good. As you can see, the curbs are brutal as well. The big sausage curbs. But on a few more laps, and we're pretty much in the same position. As you can see, the time has increased behind, so we're not worried about the guys behind. Well, I say we're not worried about the guys behind. You can see on the mini-map we're approaching slower cars. But yeah, we are approaching the slower moving cars, and the slower moving cars are the GT3 cars. This race usually consists of GTP, LMP, and GT3. Unfortunately, though, it didn't appear to be enough LMP2 cars, so it was just made up of GTP cars and GT3 cars. That was a tongue twister. But yeah, you can see there's a little bit of a gap between us and P6. Unfortunately, though, that gap shrinks quite quickly as a GT3 car runs massively wide at Parabolica. This is the most dangerous part of the race, which I quite quickly found out later on. But everything is looking good. Unfortunately, though, it just comes across really stagnated. I love the IMSA series in iRacing. I really do. I love the GTP cars. Like I said previously, if you don't respect these cars, they absolutely bite you, and that's what racing should be about, right? But boy, oh boy, was I unlucky with car placement. Not only do you have to take into consideration your braking point, because these cars, they don't have traction control and they don't have ABS, and if you miss a braking point in these cars, they will absolutely annihilate you. You lock the front left or right, and you ain't stopping. It's going to be a crash, and it's going to be a huge crash. But with the corners, especially into Scari where we're approaching, and then out into Parabolica, if you come across a car at the wrong time, you kind of stuck behind the car, and you can lose seconds, and I mean seconds of time, which then puts a spanner in your works for your own race. It's like you can see just how quick I'm approaching this Mercedes, and then we have to go side by side into Parabolica. I left as much room as I possibly can, yet the Mercedes turns into me. You can see the contact made, and then that costs you time. And as you can see, P4, whilst I was right behind before we hit this gaggle of cars, has managed to gain 2.1 seconds on me, which then is kind of making my race now impossible. You see again, stuck behind more cars, which they then crash into each other, which then closes the gap on the car behind. And then you just gotta go through this fight constantly of trying to get through cars, trying to get past cars. I wasn't too worried at this point, as I knew that I had the pace over the car behind. It's just that every time I tried to open up a gap, as you can see, I was getting frustrated. But it is unfortunately the nature of this type of racing. Every corner I was going into, I felt like I was getting stuck behind the slower moving cars. And then I was looking at the time of the car in front, and as you can see now it's 3.3. And it's just trying your hardest to get through all these cars, trying to get past, trying to create the gap to the car behind, because when the cars are within a second, they gain slipstream on you, so they're always going to be faster. And then even when they pull alongside, they can gain slipstream, which, you know, some cars, they get out of the way, and then other cars, they don't. And even though that you are flashing your headlights, because trust me, I was flashing my headlights every possible opportunity, you still have to be obviously considerate, because one little tap in these cars and you can quite quickly go sideways, which is not something you want to do for a good race, right? But now it's time to take stock. I've got a car 0.6 behind me. The next car is 3.1 in front of me, and just need to clear these cars as quickly as possible. And at this point, whilst I'm getting frustrated, you know, we're like 15 minutes into this, or almost 15 minutes into this race, and yeah, I was happy at this point. I'm really happy. Thinking about, you know, trying to close that gap down. Anything can happen during these races, and I mean anything. You know, it only takes the cars in front to spin out, contact, and then you can regain your time. Or as long as, whilst you were overtaking the slower cars, as you can see, this happens, and I tried my best to avoid it. Unfortunately, had to go off track, and then that cost me my first X of the race, which I don't know why. I just seem to get more frustrated about losing X's. I really do. But again, a few laps on, and I'm right behind P4. Sorry, I was P4, but I'm right behind P3. The pit stops are fast approaching. At this point, I've got like 6 laps left before I have to pit. And again, I'm happy. Everything's looking good. We're into turn 1, into turn 2. Yes, we've got some faster cars behind, as they managed to also catch up with approaching the slow-moving traffic. But as you can see, we've got a gap. I'm currently P4, P3's in front of me, and we're looking good. We are making really good time as well. Really good time. Everything is rosy at this point. Enjoying it. And just thinking about when to pit. We got 28 minutes of this race left, so you know we've done quite well. We've got 1X. We're just in this race. We're just vibing, just trying to keep control of everything, and looking pretty good as well. I felt really good. Considering the night before's live stream, I had an absolute nightmare, and I mean a nightmare. And I'll keep on saying it because it opened my eyes to a lot of things. And yeah, it was nuts. But right now, I'm fully focused on the car in front and just trying to get through this race and trying to enjoy it, really enjoy it. But things happen, and you know, it is what it is. But right now, around Monza, I think I'm probably having the best time of my life. And you know, yes, there is a long way to go because there's still 27 minutes or so left. But we are vibing. We are vibing at this point, and really enjoying it. I'm gaining a little bits of time on the car in front, and then he's gaining, especially through Lesmo 2. And then he's gaining a little bit in the Ascari, and then with slipstream I'm gaining a little bit back. As you can see, I'm faster than him through there as he catches 2 wheels and on and gets him A. But we're good. We are absolutely golden at this point as he goes wide. In this part, the car senses and then just dives on me, forces me wide, and unfortunately that opens the door for the car behind. And yeah, we can all send a dive bomb, and that's what happened. I was lucky. The contact wasn't that hard. You can tell it wasn't that hard because if it was that hard, I would have had 4X instead of 0. Unfortunately, it didn't. It was enough to push me wide and almost spun me out into the gravel, which was frustrating. But literally, into turn 1 the next lap, and they all crash out. The slow-moving cars, they must have caught them out. They crashed, had to run wide, and I found myself back in P5. So the car that made the dive bomb on me into the Lesmo 2 literally just crashed out. So now I'm staring at the back of P4 and P3, so we're kind of back to where we went. As you can see, P4 had to have a slowdown, so he pulled over, and now I'm looking at P3 again. And yeah, literally a lap later, I'm still in the same position where I was a lap prior, even though I'd had a dive bomb sent on me. You got 3 laps of fuel left, so the pit time is coming up. I'm not sure what happened to P3 behind me either. I'm really not. So we are moving. We are going. We are vibing. I'm thinking maybe do one more lap and then box. We got like 24 minutes left, and then yeah, we move on into 20 minutes left now of this race, and I decide to pit. You can see the low fuel flashing upon me. I've got P4 right behind me. I think I made up a position just through pit stops. And as we go into this pit window, I'm happy. I'm thinking about just getting the next 20 minutes done and just moving on. Just moving on. As we hit our marks, we're there. We're just waiting for the pit stop to get done and dusted, and then we'll get back out and then go again. So, out of the pits. Unfortunately, I was jumped out of the pits by the car in front, and I'm thinking, that's okay. I know that I felt a lot quicker than the purple car. I really did. I really did. Some of the other GTP cars, as you can tell by how far they are out in front, they've not boxed yet. So, again, I was happy. Just looking and trying to measure up the car in front, trying to see where I'm going to get him, see where I'm going to overtake him, and just continue on with the race. But so far and so good. And again, at this point, I was happy. We'd done the pit stop. The hardest part is the pit stop, or at least I thought the hardest part was the pit stop. And heading to Ascari, and I'm looking, and I'm thinking to myself, right, I'm going to get this guy really slow into Ascari. We had a good exit, and I'm thinking to myself, right, okay, clear this gaggle of cars in front because they're all slow moving. They need to think about pitting, and I'm going to try to make a move. I moved out to try and tempt him to see what he could do. And as we go into the Parabolica, look how slow the cars are moving. Everybody's moving so slow. And as you can see, he hits the brakes as he intended to see the Mercedes move over. And out of nowhere, here comes the car that we overtook earlier. Now I'm 2 wide, not going to make it 3 wide. And then this is just a nightmare. There are cars all around me. They crash in front. The red Mercedes behind me just yeets me and spins. And not only did they spin me, they spun the purple GTP car as well. And oh man, I was annoyed. I was so annoyed. And the thing is, it's really difficult to try to deal when you get hit like that. It's really difficult to try and deal with the hit and then move on and then remember you're still in the race. It was just wow. I again, like the night before, I was thinking to myself, oh, I've lost it. I really lost it. And then this happens. Not only did this happen, you can see I'm the faster moving car. From that point of getting hit in turn 1, later on, that's all I seemed to have done then was approach slower moving cars at the wrong time. So slow. And yeah, unfortunately, this is pretty much how the race continues. The time that I lost in the spin in turn 1 was so unfortunate. It really was unfortunate. And it's just a matter now of damage control with all, obviously, the slow moving cars. I think I ended up being about 11 seconds off the front of P4. I think I'm not too sure because again with the IMSA series and there is so much overtaking of slower moving cars, the gaps and the IMSA or eye overlay doesn't correspond really well with keeping track of times, etc, etc. But I believe the car in front had an issue in the parabolica and spun, so the time of 11 seconds dropped to like 1.6, and I believe that is the car in front of me that overtook us earlier on. As you can see, and I spend the next however long in this race trying to hunt him down. I think at this point of the race it was like 6 minutes or 6.5 minutes left, and I think to myself, well, I feel quicker. I felt really, really good this race compared to 24 hours prior, and I was just going to hunt him down. But as you can see, if you look on the mini-map, you can see all the slower moving traffic and trying to overtake on a circuit that is wide in places, but not wide enough. And then with the slower moving traffic, especially through Ascari, you can really send it in a GTP car. You can't in a GT3 car, so it's understandable that they're going to be moving hella slow compared to what you are. But the reason why I named it a tale of two halves is simply because for the first, up until a pit stop, I was flying, felt really good, moving through traffic at will, no issues. And then after the pit stop, especially after that hit in turn 1, it seemed that every time I tried to make inroads, I tried to progress with my race, it just seemed that the GT3 cars or the LMP2 cars were all in front of me, all over the place. Couldn't make clean overtakes, couldn't progress forward, kept getting stuck. As you can see, I'm within a second now of a car in front, P4 in fact, and like I said, I felt quicker. I felt that I could get the job done. I felt like P4 was on the cards. As you can see, P1 and P2, they're going through Lesmo 2 now. And yeah, just felt really good. P3 is entering Lesmo 1. Just felt really, really good with this race. And was thinking seriously about finishing P4, and I was happy. At this point still, we're only on 1x, so we're going to gain some time back. But I looked down, realised we were on lap 25 of 27, and 4.5 minutes to go. Time's running out, so I need to get closer to this guy. Gap is 1.3. Yet little did we know that with the slow moving traffic and just wrong place, wrong time, and it's kind of the story of the actual race itself. It was really, really difficult to make moves, get the gap down, keep the gap down, and then get past. As you can see, he's gone really wide into the parabolica, trying to get past the slow moving car, and that is good. However, on throttle, trying to gear out, had little snaps that I had to overcorrect and undercorrect, and yeah, just took a little bit of time away from us. And it's just looking back, you can see it's opportunities missed. But that's IMSA, and that's what I signed up for, and that's what it's all about. I've really, really enjoyed this race, and I mean thoroughly enjoyed this race compared to, and I keep saying about what happened the night previous. But again, you can see a lot of slower moving traffic in front of us as he goes around 1. And unfortunately, as I approach this, I think it's a Lamborghini, it's in the braking zone. It's 2 cars now. He's managed to overtake while I was stuck behind. And then I was thinking about making a move into this. Just really indecisive, and that's my own fault. And that's just allowed the car in front to clear these slow-moving GT3 cars and just gain more time. And with time running out for us during the race, it's looking highly unlikely now that I'm going to clinch P4. As you can see, his gap now has gained massively, 2.6 seconds. And yeah, he just managed to progress past those slow moving cars better than I did. The gap fluctuates, it comes down a little bit, goes up a little bit, but it's becoming ever apparent that I am not going to manage to catch him up. There's like just over 2 minutes left of this race, and I think it was time for me to consolidate. And just progress further on. It's looking good though. Like I said, this race was probably the best race I've had in a long time. And I don't know whether it was because I decided not to stream it and just race it all on my own. Be alone in my own thoughts, in my own head. Try and just try to better analyze it. Because I think when you stream and when you race, I genuinely think that there is like a disconnect. I don't know. I feel... I don't know. More... I don't know what the word I'm looking for. I feel a lot less calm when it's just me, just stripped back, just in my own thoughts. But yeah, as you can see, I knew the pace was there, and that's the frustrating, because the gap had gone from 2.7 to down to 1.6, and the gap is coming down. Yes, we're both having to overtake cars, but it's all about approaching them at the right time. As you can see on my dash, the delta is green, but again, I come up against the McLaren in the braking zone, and you can see just how slow the McLaren is moving. Not the McLaren's fault, because obviously they have far less downforce than us. But I've lost nearly a second just going through Ascari alone. And then again, the car in front, because he was past the McLaren, he gained a second. So yeah, it's just one of those races. And like I said, a tale of two halves. And whilst I was frustrated, as you can see, the final lap is coming up. Whilst I was frustrated, I have to look back and I have to think that this race was far better than I give myself credit for. Like I said, we had 1x with the multiple overtakes that we had to do, multiple slow-moving cars. Yes, I think if we hadn't have been hit, I could have quite easily had a P3, because man was motoring, was really motoring. We probably lost, like I said, 7-8 seconds, maybe more, and obviously if I hadn't been hit, I would have been 7 or 8 seconds further down the road, which would have definitely been more than enough to be in front of this guy, and maybe possibly up with P3, because P3 isn't that far away, believe it or not. But hindsight is a wonderful thing. It really, really is, and I enjoyed it. I really enjoyed it. And this is how I'm going to go further on. I'm going to record more races rather than live streaming them. I love live streaming, I really do. It's an opportunity to meet new people, an opportunity to interact and whatnot. I'm still going to live stream, but I'm not going to live stream as frequent. I'm definitely going to make more videos. But this has been my first iRacing video rather than stream. I hope you enjoyed it. Do all that good stuff. Hit the like button. Hit the subscribe button, and yeah, let me know what you think in the comments. Have a good day, and I'll catch you in the next one. Take care, guys. Peace.
P5, and there's the finish. Good result, mate. Well done.